Hey guys, Sarah Noked here, and welcome back to this week's video. I'm so excited to be talking all about the top services that you should really consider offering if you are wanting to transition into the online business manager role or you are wanting to become an online business manager. These are the top services that I have taught to students, I have offered myself, and I find that with this suite of services, you are really positioned to really offer the right kind of support at the OBM level for your clients. So let's get right down into it. Now, the first big service offering is none other than project management. This is something that is definitely a very key part of what we do as online business managers. So whether you are managing a specific marketing project, like you're building out a website for your client and you're managing the parts and pieces, or you are, managing the weekly editorial calendar and making sure that the blogs and the newsletters are going out on time, whatever that looks like for you, it is a project management role, and it is so much part of the foundation that we stand on as online business managers in our clients' businesses. And I will also say here that a lot of the times people will ask me, what's the difference between a project manager and an online business manager? Now, if you caught last week's video, we talked all about what's the difference between a virtual assistant and an online business manager, but I also equally get asked a lot, what's the difference between a project manager and an online business manager? And unlike some key differences between OBM and VA, project management is a key featured service of what we provide as online business managers. So it sort of just fits under our umbrella role. Like if we're an online business manager, we've got these specific chunks of services that fit underneath what we do, and project management is a very, very big one. So if you're not offering project management in your online business manager role, you should be. Now, the next big one is operations management. Operations management is by and large one of the biggest pieces you can take off your client's plate. A lot of the times when we start working with our clients in the OBM role, they're still doing like all the day-to-day. They're managing perhaps the virtual assistant or another team member. They're making sure that everyone's completing the daily tasks and that things are moving along nicely. Operations management is a very, very big part of what we do, equally as much with the project management. Sort of like project management and ops management is a big core piece of the benefits that we offer as online business managers. Because in my experience, when you can take the operations management day-to-day piece off of your client's plate, you really free them up to be focusing on the things that only they can do in their business. And it might be, a specific product that they're working on, or maybe having those sales conversations, or building those strategic relationships, or maybe showing up on social media as our clients should be doing. So a big part of the operations management takeover is about giving your client the headspace and the bandwidth to know that, oh, my OBM's got it. It's in good hands because she's making sure that everything is happening as it should be. I can actually fully dedicate my time working on the things that only I can do in my business. What a sense of peace of mind for your client when you can really offer that. So I want you to be highlighting, a big part of establishing what falls under the OBM scope is really being able to recognize how it really transforms your client's business and their role in their business. Because so many times when we start working with our clients at the OBM level, like even if they have team members, and I know you guys can relate to this, especially if you're already working as a service support professional in the digital world, you just know that these clients are sometimes still stuck in that solopreneur mindset where they are, working away, slaving away, doing all the different tasks in their business, whether or not it falls into their zone of genius. It just is the way that it is. So when you can really take that off of their plate, it gives them back peace of mind and time and quiet to really focus on what they do best in their business. Now, the next service offering that you should be really kind of like tooting at the top of your lungs and just kind of like standing from the rooftops and screaming this out is the team management piece. Team management, is a big, big part of what we do as online business managers, because naturally when you're managing projects and you're managing operations, there is team involved. So a big part of what we do is team management. So when you are bringing it to the forefront of your service offerings, it's all about framing it, isn't it? It's about highlighting where we really excel as online business managers. And, the team management piece is really an important piece, because whether you are managing the team members on the day-to-day or managing the team members or certain contractors and even employees and certain roles in the business, there's also the whole hiring, there's the whole firing piece, there's the onboarding and the offboarding of team members, there's training team members. So there's so much involved with, the happy team. It's also, being the person to really instill the company culture within the team and within the greater business. What are the channels that we're communicating on, and making sure that the team members are happy, but that they're really just getting the work done that they're supposed to be getting done, and that the whole team, even though a lot of the times we're dealing with virtual teams, there's this feeling of cohesion, right? There's this team cohesion that an OBM just comes in and they just pull it all together. And that is just another beautiful thing for your client to really kind of soak up and enjoy. Because in my experience working with clients, team management, while our clients are great leaders, they're not always great team leaders, right? They kind of just, they are sometimes distracted by certain things happening in the team, or perhaps they are handling a situation very emotionally rather than professionally. So coming in there and being like, for lack of a better way of calling it, like the buffer between the client and the rest of the team, you are doing such a great service for your client, because they're not necessarily, team management doesn't necessarily fall in their zone of genius, and leading the team calls and setting agendas and, having your finger, because you're already, with your finger on the pulse of the day-to-day and the various projects happening. It's just a very nice thing to offer as part of your OBM service packages. Team management, it's a fantastic thing. And I bet, if you're still with me and watching this video, you're probably thinking, especially if you're still in your corporate job, you're probably thinking to yourself, wow, there's so many transferable things from what I'm doing now that I could be moving into the OBM role. And that is, my intention here is to really get you thinking that, wow, a lot of these things come so naturally to me. And at the same time, wow, I can actually offer this as a service to clients and get paid well and feel valued on a team. That's what I want. That's a beautiful thing. If you guys can achieve that for yourself, then the sky's the limit on your success and career as an online business manager. The next really natural progression in your OBM service arrangement is systems. Having systems in my business and having the right things documented and feeling like the client's business is built on systems rather than being built on the team members that are driving those systems is something that ensures the resilience of the business in hard times, and something that ensures, if somebody's sick or somebody needs to take a sudden leave, that we are not left hanging. We know exactly what that team member was responsible for. We've got the standard operating procedures in place. I've got a great resource for standard operating procedures that I will put in the description below this video so you guys can get your hands on those. I know in the experience that I've had as an online business manager that systems are the backbone of any successfully scaled business. And a big goal that our clients have in bringing on an OBM is to scale their business. They're scaling their reach, they're scaling the impact that they're having in this world and in the space that they're in. So it's really, really important for us to embrace this systems mindset. So making sure that things are documented, making sure that you have the right team members working on the right pieces, and making sure that these things stay up to date, and leveraging things like project management tools and some of the other software in the online space that can help support systems is going to really do such amazing wonders for your clients. And also like in your own business. I always encourage my students to consider scaling their own teams and bringing on a virtual assistant to support them, or perhaps a writer or another service support professional. And having systems in your own business is the first step in establishing some of your systems if you're an online business manager, and just as a service-based professional, around how you onboard and offboard your clients. Those are two systems right there. I've just given you some homework, right? Two systems right there that you can totally start to leverage with yourself in your own business. And that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So systems are huge, systems as a service. So whether you are creating a whole big OBM retainer that has a bunch of these services mixed in, or you are going at offering just one of these services as a standalone, it's your choice. It's really your choice. But I want you to start to expand your mind on how you can think about packaging and offering these services in various ways to your clients. Now, the next big piece that definitely falls into the scope of what we do as online business managers and is probably just to me equally as systems and very much married with all of these. Like, you're probably getting the feeling that, oh, a lot of these are really interconnected, but it's metrics. Metrics are the bomb. Like, the way that I best describe metrics and the way that I convey this to my clients is it's sort of like if I were to put my finger on your pulse and I would be tracking your vital signs, the vital signs of the business are the metrics. And really recognizing through identifying the goals that your client has, through identifying the projects and the vision and being really aligned with all of those things is gonna really help you to wrap your mind around the metrics that your client should be aware of, that we should be tracking in the business. There's no one size fits all for metrics. We have templates that we offer as part of our programs that highlight some of the key metrics that around social media or around launch management and stuff like that. Like, there are some key things that we see coming up time and time again, but the truth of the matter is that when you are working in a client's business and you're thinking strategically about that particular project, let's say the project is a launch, and you're thinking to yourself, well, we're doing these specific promotions on social media to drive traffic to the sales page. And, we're looking at some of these indicators that are going to show us if this launch is going to be successful or not. When you start to really think critically about what numbers you should be tracking and you start to think about them as like that sort of that vital sign of the business, you realize that, wow, it's sort of unique. It's unique to every business. And it's important as online business managers that we highlight the important metrics that need to be tracked, and that as leaders in our client's business, we make sure that those things are tracked at the right intervals, whether it be a daily metric, which might be certain sales coming in, it might be a weekly metric, that might be the amount of interviews lined up each week, because that's going to show us, that's going to be a direct indicator of the success of our launch, for example. Or whether we're looking at like some monthly social media stats, like, how is the engagement on our Facebook page, like holistically. It's really going to help to guide the strategy and guide the efforts that you are making in your client's business with them together as a partnership. It really doesn't have to be an intimidating thing. It doesn't have to be about tracking a whole lot of metrics, but there has to be enough there to give you a big picture so that you could really help your client and guide them in their strategic planning and their efforts. That nicely marries well with the last juicy service that you should be considering adding to your roster as an OBM, and that is strategy. So when it comes to your strategic planning with your client, imposter syndrome is real. You just have to recognize that this is a muscle that you are flexing as you are gaining more experience. I talk a lot about stepping stone clients and working with clients that feel right for where you are in your business. So obviously, if you kick off working with like a 7-figure business owner and they're doing this like 6-figure launch, it is going to be probably over your head. But I want you to know that over time, you will no doubt start to feel really confident and really secure in leading your client on the strategy front. And it's just something to think about. It's actually one of the pieces that we really advocate for. And the most basic level of OBM strategy is the strategic planning piece. And I know if you're still with me at this point in the video that you know that you can handle strategic planning with your client. And you've probably experienced this with your friends and family. Like if someone comes to you and you're like, hey, I've got this problem, so-and-so, yada, yada, your mind is immediately going to be strategically planning how to get your friend out of that problem. A lot of these things, we have to really recognize that they are inherent, and it is just something that you have to flex. And it's about how you lead the client ultimately. We spent some time today really getting clear about the hard skills that you want to master as an online business manager and some of the things to start thinking about when you are packaging your OBM services. Like again, it's like sort of reward for staying to the end of this video. The truth of the matter is every online business management client is as unique as their business. And when it comes to packaging or thinking about your service offerings as online business managers, you don't want to give your OBM clients the impression that it's one size fits all. You wanna be more holistic about your approach with your clients in that, you know, there's this sort of rainbow of service offerings that you have, and there might be some other things you add in there depending on your own experience. Like maybe there are some other services that you add to those, right? By no means is this the full list, but that is, I believe, the core of the OBM offering. So when you're thinking about other things that you can add or thinking about what it really means to work with an OBM client, I want you to remember that you really want to provide a customized plan for your client, and you want to provide a customized package of services that relate to their unique business. Now, if you found this video useful, do hit subscribe and click that little bell to be notified, because we release a new video every week. So until next week, have a great day, guys.